Let's see, before my comedy career took off, not supposed to be the funny part, okay? Before my comedy career took off, I used to work in an office earlier today. Offices are a fantastic place to work. Anyone else here work in an office? Yeah. We just had, you guys might have fire drills at your offices. We just had our first active shooter drill. Fantastic time to be alive, isn't it? We had this old fire marshal come in who does the fire drills, and he added an active shooter drill to the end of it. And this is verbatim the active shooter drill that he gave us. He comes in and he just goes, okay, now in case of an active shooter, you just need to remember your A, B, C's. A stands for avoid. If you can avoid the shooter, avoid the shooter. If you cannot avoid the shooter, move on to B, which stands for barricade. Put something in between you and the shooter. Can be anything, file cabinet, accountant. No one will judge you in a time of crisis. If A and B both fail, you have no choice but to move on to C, which stands for confront. Now, how do you confront an active shooter? When the time comes, you'll figure it out. What? Are you kidding? I could not believe that was what he said. I felt privileged, though, to get to hear him say those words, because I don't know about the rest of you, but I've never had the chance to hear the rough draft of a safety speech. That's kind of incredible. That's like getting to hear the Wright brothers be like, okay, in case of a water landing, just float around. The plane's made of wood. Fine. We are going 5 miles per hour, so settle down, Wilbur. I work with a lot of meatheads in my office. And by the way, just a quick sidebar. Can we all agree that meathead is a wonderful term and we need to start bringing it back? It's perfect. It perfectly describes that type of person, doesn't it? And the best part is they don't even get offended when you call them that. They think it's a compliment. Like you'll just be like, oh yeah, Chuck, that guy's a real moron, a real meathead. And Chuck will just be like, yeah, I like meat. Okay, point proven. Thank you, Chuck. All these meatheads that I work with were just like, when they heard that part of the safety speech, they're like, yeah, I'll confront him. I'll confront the shooter. You know what I'll do? I'll get him in the corner, and I'll just punch him in the face. Just punch him right in the face. I was like, oh man, you need to teach me how to fight like that. Can you teach me how to throw a punch with one hand and then use the other hand to block a bullet? Can you tell me that? Where are you from, Chuck? Was it tough being the only Terminator in suburban Jersey? How was that? I'm not a very confrontational guy. I wish people were more surprised by that. I also used to be a bouncer at a club. I wish people were less surprised by that. I should mention I was a bouncer at a comedy club. And already I can see people be like, that makes way more sense. Thank you for thinking I'm fit enough to be a comedy club bouncer, but you should know this was about 6 or 7 years ago, and I wasn't this ripped yet. When you're a bouncer at a comedy club, it's a pretty simple job. All you have to do is make sure that nobody heckles during the show. So sometimes people would have too much to drink, they'd start to get a little loud, and if they got loud, I would go up to them, and I would, puff out my chest and just be like, excuse me, sir, could you quiet down? And that was it. That was my bouncing move. That was all I had, except for one night where I got particularly fired up. And I went up to this guy and I was like, hey, come here, I have to tell you something. No, come here. And then I led him outside and locked the door in between us. I've mastered avoid and barricade, never figured out confront. Anyways, I've been Kevin Froleiks. Thank you so much.